Hi everyone, how are you? Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, which is very, very exciting. Although I did wake up this morning thinking it was Tuesday. So, the week's going quicker than I'm thinking. So this is good. Let's put you guys in here so I can say hello. There we go. That's a bit easier. How are you all this fine and drizzly day? It's not fabulous out there, I know. What have you been up to as well? Do tell me. Let me just refresh my page so I can see all your lovely comments. Say hello if you're joining. Where are you? Let's find you all there. And make sure that I'm on silent as well so that I don't hear myself in an echo, which is always bizarre and weird. There we go. So yeah, how are you all doing? What have you all been up to? What have I been doing? Last night I actually picked up my violin, which was both shocking to me and the neighbours, I think. I haven't played my violin in probably about 5 years, probably longer properly, yeah. So it was actually really, really nice to play some music. Ed got his guitar out as well, so it was really, really lovely. So that's what I did last night. I've got focaccia rising in the kitchen. So I made some focaccia this morning. Surprisingly easy. I always thought focaccia was really, really hard. Just takes a long time, but to rise, but actually really easy. I did my doodle for this morning. This is my potions doodle. We had potions today. So we've got an Arty Farty doodle challenge for those of you who don't know. So if anyone wants to join in with that, do. It's every day in January, so give that a go. What else? I'm sorry, I just thought there was a comment there. So say hello if you're watching. What else have I done? Oh, I finished this painting. This is, believe it or not, this is a painting of my lovely husband who, God love him, he plays the Dame in our panto quite a lot. So hence the amazing picture of him there. So he's going to go alongside Marilyn Monroe and who's the other one I've got? Marilyn Monroe and Jessica Rabbit, who are kind of the bombshells that I've got in my hallway. So alongside that will be Ed as a Dame, which I'm sure he'll love, which is very exciting. So how are you guys? What have you been up to? Do tell me, comment below. Makes me feel like I'm not just talking to myself, which I'm doing a lot of these days anyway, whether I'm on a Facebook Live or not. So we are going to do some watercolour painting today. I've got my paints out. Hopefully you've got paints, you've got paper, I've got brushes. I'm probably just going to use my normal, I might go one bigger actually for my brush today. This kind of a brush. So it's got a nice point on it as well, though this looks a bit fluffy at the moment, this one. Hello Lindsay and Ruby, excellent, you finally made it. Lovely to have you with us, excellent stuff. We are going to be painting, I'm going to go back to trees today, but we're going to be painting them in a kind of very stylised way, and we're going to do 3 rows of trees. So it's going to be more of a graphic really today, and they're going to be different colours. So we're going to kind of chase the rainbow, as it were, with our trees. So I'm going to drop you guys down so that you can join in. The trick to this, because we need to let it dry basically before we can put in the detail, is not using too much water. So if you've got watercolour paper, even better because it's more absorbent, so it'll suck it all in. But if you've got plain paper, even less water, like even less. So we're going to start with watercolour paper. So I'm going to drop you guys down so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm going to aim to use quite a lot of these colours, I think. Actually, let's turn it more that way and then you guys can see a bit more. There we go. So I'm going to go in with a green, and I'm just going to go straight from my palette at the moment. I might mix it up a bit later on, but at the moment I'm going to go straight from my palette. This tree is going to be a nice round one. Oh, maybe a little bit more water than that. There we go. It's going to be a nice round tree. And I'm not worried about the trunks. We're just doing what would be the kind of leaves, I guess. It's a very stylised way of painting this one. So as you can see, I'm just dropping a little bit more of the pigment to the left-hand side. But what will happen is as it dries, that spreads into the water. And you can always agitate it a little bit and bring it over. So you get a nice kind of almost a 3D-ish effect where it's darker on one side. Right, I'm going to go for a different green. Nice emerald green. This one I'm going to do triangular. So I'm going to come in triangular-ish, should I say. And I'm not too worried about rough edges this time as well. Normally I'm quite worried about rough edges, but it's a tree, so we're really not that worried. Right, let's go for, actually I might do one more green. I've got a nice bottle dark green here. Let's go for, I might go for a nice tall thin one actually. Make it a bit fluffy on the edges, so there's no straight line, wiggly lines on the edges. I might put just a little bit more of the actual paint, the pigment in there as well. If anyone's got any questions as we're going along, please do pop them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer. Right, I'm going to go for a nice yellowy, sort of lemony, limey yellow. There we go. Technical term, obviously. Lemony, limey yellow. Right, so we'll go for a bigger, fluffier one. Still kind of on the triangular shape element there. There we go. So for the next one, I'm going to use a kind of light orange that I've got here. But I'm going to do it by using dots. And I might do that a few times as we go. So I'm going to make more of a rounder one. But I'm just going to do it using dots. So you've got that nice gaps in between. It just gives a different texture really, so you don't get bored of seeing the same old thing. Let me hold that up so you guys can see those. So that's our top line of trees. And I'm going to keep going across the kind of rainbow. So I'm going to go for like a darker, well actually I might stick with that light orange. Now obviously if you haven't got as many palette colours as I have, because I've got quite a few here, I think I've got about 18 there. So if you haven't got as many, do mix. So if you want a lighter orange, obviously use, maybe you've got a yellow and a tiny bit of red. Do get colour mixing if you want to, because it is nice to do colour mixing. I'm just being very lazy really and not mixing my colours. So I've just dropped a bit of water just in the middle there, so that again, hopefully it just gives a little bit different texture. I might move on to a bit of a darker orange now. I'm very lucky to have all these colours, I have to say. So I'm going to go for a slightly smaller, rounder one on this one. Oh, that is a nice orangey colour. I might use that again actually. So I'm going to do another one of these where we just use the dots, but maybe longer and thinner. And you can, hopefully you can see by the vibrancy of the colour, you can see that I'm using a lot of pigment and a lot of paint, and actually not much water at all. So we're going to, hopefully they'll be dry enough for us to add the next bits effectively. Now I'm going to use that orange again, a much bigger, rounder one now, but I'm going to drop a bit of red into it as well. I'm going to use the water to bring it into the middle, and then use a little bit of red and just drop that into it as well. So I'm actually colour mixing, but on the paper rather than using my palette. Again, mainly because I'm lazy. There we go. Now I might do for the next one, I'm going to do a smaller round one, but I'm just painting it with the water so you can't see it. And then I'm going to drop a little bit of red into it, rinse my brush off, and then just agitate that red round just a little bit. So the paint will only go as far as you painted the water, if that makes sense. It won't go any further than that. I might make it slightly bigger. So you can actually control watercolours quite well. So if you're painting onto dry paper, if you're painting onto wet paper, it's a completely different thing. And goes everywhere, spreads everywhere. So I'm going to use my reds now. I'm going to go for another one down here. So I'm going to go maybe this low down. I'm going to do a nice triangular one again. Quite liked those. quite a nice shape. And then I might do a rounder, spotty one. There we go, kind of got little lines on it, hasn't it? And then what I'm going to do is paint a red one, but then add just a little bit. I'll put a nice round one. A little bit of blue into it as well. Now, in order to make purple, because not many palettes in watercolours come with purple, but in order to make purple, you want the, I don't know if you can see that, I'll bring that over. You want the most kind of sapphire gem looking blue that you can. And you only want the tiniest of bits, because blue is so overpowering, it'll just go blue completely. So I'm just going to mix those in a little on the paper. And you've got a little hint of purple on the end there. And then the next one I'm going to go full purple. So have a slightly smaller shaped one. And again, I'm just going to put tiniest bits of blue in. And really mix that together. Right to the edges. I might do a tiny bit more blue. There we go. And the nice thing about mixing it on the paper is that you don't get it so perfectly even either. So you get a nice little kind of texture alongside there. And then I'm going to go for blue. I'll do a kind of taller one this one. There we go. Yeah, add a little bit more blue into there. So this is what I do with watercolours. I tend to fiddle. So I work quite quickly with them, so they don't dry too quick, because I tend to go back and fiddle with them. Change the colours. Do you stop fiddling? Right, there we go. So now that they're nice and drying very nicely, these are probably going to take a bit longer. But this one and that one almost, but the others are pretty dry actually. They're not too bad. This one's a little bit wet. Mop some of that up with my paintbrush. So what I'm going to do is go for a really nice thin brush. Oh, actually, could go with that one. So this is actually only one size smaller than the one I've been using, but it's got a really nice point on it. So I'm going to go for dark blue, and I'm really not using much water at all. I'm almost using this as a kind of pencil to sort of outline. You could do this with a fine liner pen actually, wouldn't be too bad. And I'm literally just going to make up different ways of putting in branches and trunks. So for this one, I'll put a couple of flicky bits out. And you can mix and match these, you know, you don't have to copy mine completely at all. You really can mix and match. I might just do straight lines for that one. I love painting trees. There's just something about trees that's so lovely and calming. I think it is the kind of painting all the branches in. You can get so detailed. Might just put a trunk on this one. Leave all the spots, all the dotty bits. And you can paint some thicker as well. Might do that one thicker. They all have to be kind of thin and spindly. Be a bit more stylised like that one with the kind of little spikes going on. Oh, I've lost you on the on the Facebook feed. Oh, I'm colouring in the wrong blue now. There we go. Easily distracted. That's my problem. Right, with that one, I think I might just leave that one. I might not actually put a little one in at all. There we go. They're all different sizes. This is beauty. I quite like this. Actually, like with my potions doodle actually this morning, where it's all the same thing that you're drawing or painting, but they're all different shapes and sizes or different colours. I quite like that style. Make a good sketchbook page. Right, this one is still slightly wet, I can see. So I am just putting in bare minimum. And you'll see that that begins to spread, so it's not going to be as clear cut a line as some of these ones. But that is the beauty of working with watercolours. You can actually get some very different effects out of them. I hope yours are looking gorgeous. I'm sure they probably are. Don't forget when you finish to photograph them and comment below. Find the photo, there we go. Ah, Sapphire, hello, and Jasper. So I've only just seen your comment. No worries, don't worry about joining in late, that's fine. I'm missing that one out because that's slightly wet. It's slightly wet still. Excellent stuff. So all of the videos, for anyone that's watching or watching later, all the videos are saved to our Facebook page afterwards. So anyone can catch up later. These are going to spread beautifully. Look at these. I might hold that up so you guys can see that. So because that one's still wet, hopefully you can see. Ooh, there we go. The paint, the blue paint is spreading gorgeously in that water. So there you have it. So nice rainbow trees, lots of different colours. And some delicate, some not so delicate, some big, some fat, some thin, some short. Love the differences in all of those. And what I've done is left a little space there so that I can put something in there and send it off as a little card or a little postcard, which is quite cute. I quite like those. So you can really have a play with them. As I said, they don't all have to look exactly like mine. You can have a play with different colours, different shapes. I quite like the dotting effect. I'm sure there's probably other ways you can do that. Like I said, I'm quite lazy, so I mix the colours on the page. You might want to mix them in the palette first before putting them on. Yeah, it's just so many different ways you can play with watercolours. They're awesome, awesome stuff. Tomorrow you will need watercolour paper, paintbrushes, water, and actually we're just going to work with one colour tomorrow. So if you've got black watercolour paint, we're going to work with that. If you don't have black, because I know a lot of watercolour sets don't, you can still join in, just use like a dark blue. That's absolutely fine. We can work with that, or even a dark brown actually would work with what we're doing tomorrow. That's it for today. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining in. It's an absolute pleasure having you. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock for your daily dose of creativity. And if anybody would like to donate to Arty Farty Retreat, I will obviously put the link below, because every little helps at the moment. Obviously, we're not allowed back in the studio. Can't have everyone in, and I'm just crossing my fingers for the end of March, beginning of April, so that we can all meet up back together again and be creative in person, which would be lovely. Anyway, have a fabulous, fabulous day, and I will see you guys all tomorrow at 1. Bye.